What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me already, my name is Brian Turner, and today I'm going to tell you about the 3 vegan foods that have helped me the most with bloating and acne. And if you don't know my story already, I used to have super severe acne, and I also used to have really bad bloating where I was always having a hard belly, my stomach was distended, I was always really gassy. So today I want to explain to you what I did and possibly what could help you as well. Okay, so real quickly, let's reverse and go into my backstory. Before I was vegan, which I've been vegan for 5 years now, I used to have a terrible diet. If you follow me for a long time, you know this. I used to eat pounds and pounds of meat every single day, usually something like 8 chicken thighs, a pound or so of steak, a bunch of frozen meals, and I would have around a gallon of dairy a day. Yep, a gallon of milk, bunch of cheese, cottage cheese, all sorts of stuff.
This is cottage cheese mixed with cocoa powder and a little bit of Splenda mixed for a nice little dessert.
Okay, yeah, so I wasn't eating the best foods already, but I was also eating a ton of them. As you guys know, I'm a bodybuilder, so at that time I was eating something like 4,500 calories just because I was trying to gain muscle and I was trying to bulk. And I still eat a similar amount of calories to this day, but the foods that I eat are different. So I was always walking around super bloated, like I said. I was always super gassy, and I always felt like I was going to bed with like what I would call like a pregnant belly. Like I couldn't lay on my stomach, I couldn't lay on my side because my belly was so distended. So that's right around the time when I decided that I wanted to test veganism out because I saw that a plant-based diet could really help with my acne. So I did, and one of the main things that improved my acne was getting rid of the dairy. Like I said, I was having a gallon of milk a day, and if you know anything about my story, a gallon of milk was terrible because even a serving of milk will give me cystic acne. So I was just pounding myself with dairy. So it did improve quite a bit, but then I discovered I wanted to go a step further because I was still having a bunch of bloating. I was still having that big distended belly, and what I discovered was that I was suffering from something called leaky gut syndrome. Basically, that just means that I had pretty bad, called dysbiosis, basically an imbalance of good and bad bacteria in my gut. So my gut health was not great. So then I started looking into it and I added these 3 vegan foods that made a world of difference. So check this out. Okay, so the number 1 vegan food that I added to my diet. Ready for this? Probiotics. Now, you're probably thinking the same thing that I'm thinking as I'm saying this. Is that really a vegan food? And really, is anything really a vegan food? You know what I mean? Or is it just a plant and it just doesn't have any animal products in it, right? So anyways, probiotics. So things like kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha, miso, all that kind of stuff. I always used to hate it. I always used to look at it like it was gross. It has like kind of that sour fermented thing going on. And I was like, it's pretty gross. So when I first started putting sauerkraut and stuff into my diet, it was pretty nasty. Kombucha was probably the easiest one, but it was all pretty nasty. I just forced myself to have it. Over time, just like with pretty much any type of food that at first you don't like, you kind of grow a palate towards it. And I actually now really like sauerkraut, kimchi, all these kind of things on all sorts of different, foods like sandwiches and stuff. So that's the first thing that I started adding in. Probably around 3 to 5 servings a day for the first bit, and then I started slowing down to something like 1 to 2 servings every day or every other day. The second vegan food that I added in was vegetables. Again, is that really vegan? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it is vegan. It's plant-based, right? But like what? Yeah. There's no like vegan food. I'm not going to say like tofurkey healed my gut or anything like that. So I originally was eating vegetables before I was vegan. I wasn't just like completely degenerate with my food. But as I went more and more into the health side of plant-based, going more whole foods and stuff, I started to increase my vegetables more and more and more and more and more. So then I was getting a ton of vegetables. And specifically the vegetables that I was getting were the dark green cruciferous, kind of like the gross or bland or not so fun vegetables. Things like Brussels sprouts and broccoli and asparagus, all that kind of stuff, kale and spinach, all those kind of things. Of course, I would also have all the other vegetables that I, enjoyed too, carrots and mushrooms and bell peppers and things like that. But I was always making sure to get those dark green cruciferous vegetables. And the reason I believe that vegetables are so helpful is because they have all these different vitamins, minerals, polyphenols, phytonutrients, all these things that you really can't get from anything else. And really a supplement isn't going to be as effective as getting it from the real food. So then I was giving my body so much of this goodness on top of giving myself the probiotics, which have good bacteria that is being introduced into your gut. So now I have 2 things going for my body and for my gut, right? The third and final vegan food that I added was prebiotic fibers. So this is things like oats and grains and veggies and really anything that has fiber in it that prebiotic fiber that can't be digested into energy, calories, right? That is actually really, really useful in your gut because it basically, like the simplest way I can put it, right, is probiotics add new good bacteria to your gut, but prebiotic fibers feed the already existing good bacteria that is in your gut. So it just gives them more fuel. And basically, from these 3 different things that I was doing, I was changing the balance of my gut. I didn't have leaky gut syndrome anymore. I wasn't having, trouble digesting things. I wasn't so gassy. I wasn't so bloated. I feel like because I was eating so many weird things before I was vegan, like literally a box of Splenda every single day. I was having, sugar alcohols. I wasn't having enough of the good foods. Basically, I think my body was just having a really hard time digesting things, and that bad bacteria that was in my body was just feasting on all these weird things that I was eating, and that was what was causing all that gas. And so it was really cool because I started to see my gas go away, which one, thank God, because no one really wants to just, blow a whole room up, right? But also my bloating started to go away. So instead of going to bed with like this huge, pregnant belly just full of food and air, I was able to go to bed a little bit more comfortable. It got better and it got better and it got better. So that was really awesome for me. So in a nutshell, those are the 3 things that helped the most with my bloating and with my acne. Now, of course, there's so many factors that go into both, gut health, bloating, acne, all that kind of stuff. And so this is just the 3 that have helped me the most, and the 3 that maybe you should look at yourself and see if you can improve those areas. But of course, there's so many different things that can help. So don't take this as like the definitive guide to, healing your gut and in your acne and things like that. On a side note, I do want to mention that I am launching today something that I've been working on for over a year called the Acne Method. And so basically, if you know my story, I've had acne for now 13 years. And basically, I took all of the knowledge of what I've tried, all of the things that have worked the best for me, things that haven't worked at all. I put that into the book. And then I also sat and just researched for months and months and looked up so many scientific studies to back up what I thought was the truth, and then also to introduce new things that I didn't know. And so basically I put this all into something called the Acne Method, which is a completely natural and completely vegan method, a course so that people can learn the 10 steps that have helped me the most, but also the 10 steps that are proven by science to be the most efficient ways to address your own acne and your own skin health. So I definitely want you guys to check that out if you are suffering with acne. And if you do check that out, it's 10 steps for $10 for 10 weeks. I wanted to make it super affordable so literally anybody could get access to it if they wanted access to it. And if you get the full bundle, you can get all of the entire program, which has like these really cool areas like the Acne Secrets book, which has this vitamin section, which breaks down what vitamins have been shown in studies to be deficient for people who have acne. So that way you can see if those things are in your diet, if you're deficient in those, and you can address that as well and possibly, improve your acne because of those things. There are so many pieces of information. It's so polished. I'm so proud of this guy. I've seriously put so much work into this. So yeah, I definitely just wanted to shout it out one time here on the main channel. If you want to check out more of my acne content, I actually have an acne channel called Team Acne, so go check that out as well. But yeah, I want to share a little bit of my story, tell you guys what's worked the best for me. I hope this helps you guys. If you enjoyed it, of course, always give it a thumbs up. But what I really want is I want you to leave your comments below and say, have any of these 3 things helped you? And what else that I didn't mention in this video has helped you with either your acne or your bloating and your gut health? That's going to be really helpful for other people. Of course, subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel already. I appreciate you guys coming in here and supporting as always, and I will see you guys in the very next video.
Team Beyond the Week. CT Heavy.